I'm Eric, the history detective, and I got the Jeep loaded up, and we're in the Jeep, and we're about to go out on another metal detecting adventure. So, a good friend of mine who I haven't talked to in a while contacted me through Facebook and said he has recently got into metal detecting, and he lives on a portion of what's left of the Summit Point battlefield just outside of Charlestown, West Virginia. So this morning, I'm going to meet him, and we're going to go out there and we're going to do a little detecting and see what we can't find. When I talked to him, he told me that he'd just been in his backyard and had dug a couple of bullets and an eagle button. So that is definitely a good start. And when we get to Summit Point, I will have my friend Lee help me with the camera, and I'm going to tell you why they met at Summit Point.
The Battle of Summit Point, also known as the Battle of Cameron's Depot, takes place August 21st, 1864. But there's a lot leading up to this battle. General Robert E. Lee has dispatched General Early and his Army Corps into the Shenandoah Valley, and they have pressed north all of the Union troops out of the valley. He has gone even farther. Jubal Early has crossed the Potomac. He has gone through Maryland, he has fought and won the Battle of Monocacy, and he has attacked the outer defenses of Washington, D.C. After that, he pulls back into Virginia in the neighborhood of Winchester. It's time for the Union Army to put the cap on Jubal Early, and two of the most famous Civil War generals are about to face off at the Battle of Summit Point. On the Confederate side, Jubal Early. On the Union side, Phil Sheridan. Phil Sheridan is put in charge August 7th, 1864, just 2 weeks before the battle. And he's put in charge by Ulysses S. Grant. And Grant expects him to attack and push Jubal Early back south and out of the Shenandoah Valley. August 21st, 1864 dawns. Phil Sheridan has only been in charge for 2 weeks. And Jubal Early launches a surprise attack against the Union Army here at Summit Point. Jubal Early and the Confederates are going to storm across Opequon Creek and attack the town of Summit Point. They are going to push the Union Army back towards their base of supply, which is Harper's Ferry, West Virginia. They're going to fight through the towns, they're going to fight over the hills, across the creeks, and through the woods. They're going to go through Charlestown until the Union Army takes up a strong defensive position at Halltown. There they halt and await a further attack, but Jubal Early doesn't press it. When the day ends, the Confederates have gone as far as Charlestown and they have stopped, and the Union Army is at Halltown. Let's go hunting.
All right, we're out here in the battlefield area, and I'm using my big coil on the White's MXT today, and we got our first find. It's going to be a Civil War 3-ring mini bowl, and you can see it right there in the plug. And I haven't pulled it out yet. We're gonna pull that out and bring it up here. There you go. Now you'll notice that these mini bowls out here in the woods in this soil aren't really turning as white as you find some in the fields. They have that coating of brown dirt on them, which will come off for the most part when you clean them. And also you'll see how the cavity in the back is packed full of dirt, and you want to clean these out really good. And what I do is use a toothpick to get in there and scrape them out to see if they have any embossed markings. These were sometimes marked by the arsenal they came from. And out here in the east, we find a lot of what I call star bullets. And when we clean these up later, I will show you what I'm looking for. A lot of them you find will have nothing in there, and some of them will have letters, and I actually found a very rare US one. I'll share that one with you guys later. It's at home. But you want to clean them out real good and look for any markings in the base. So that's our first find, and it's a good one, and we're going to keep on hunting. Okay, I haven't closed up my other hole yet, which you can see right there, because right next to it, I got another target. Look right down there in the bottom, and you're going to see in the wall another 3-ring mini bowl. There you go, side by side. And these are drop bullets. You can tell they don't have any damage. There's no rifling going down the side of them. And they were fighting through here and they could be dropped for different reasons. These had a paper cartridge, and if they were damaged, they would discard them and move on to the next one. And it is not uncommon to find these in groups. And again, you can see how close together these two are. So there it is, and we'll clean it out later, and we're gonna keep on hunting. So again, I'm still working that same area. You can see by my gloves, I've got a hole opened up, and I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna move this root out of the way. Right there. Another drop 3-ring mini ball. There you go. And we're gonna keep looking around here. We're definitely in a good spot, and we'll probably find some others, and we'll probably find something different here shortly. We'll keep working it. Well, we got something interesting right here. Look at that log in this hole. So I got a really good target right here, and that is not a tree root. This log right here, it almost looks like a piece of old corduroy road, or it could be the old piece of a foundation log, although it's a little small for that. But that log was put there in this area that we're working. And I got a good hit, and I had to clean out around it. And if we look right over here, look down there, goody green. Look at this piece of chain. Look at that. Now I double checked the hole already, and there weren't any more pieces, but that is a really cool find right there. All right, gonna keep hunting. All right, the White's MXT is on it today. I got a hole opened up right here, and I just flung this out. And at first glance, it's gonna look like a 3-ring mini ball, but it's not. Some of you are gonna know what this is, but this is special. That is a Williams cleaner bullet. There were 3 types of Williams cleaner bullets during the war, and this is the 3rd type. This is the late war type. And we are in a battlefield here where they fought in 1864. So we are late in the war, and I'm gonna clean this up and come back and show you what I mean by Williams cleaner. And there it is. As the camera focuses in, you can see this is kind of a stubby bullet with 2 rings and a post with a space between. Now, that post space would have had a patch of material in there. And the idea was that as they were firing and their guns started to get fouled, they could fire one of these. And that material that used to be inside that open area would help clean some of the fouling out of the barrel. Some troops didn't like these, and they threw a lot of them down and didn't even bother to use them. That's why you find them in such good drop condition like this. Some say they worked, some say they didn't do the job of cleaning out the fouling. I don't know much other than they usually were in the cartridge boxes, 1 or 2 in a cartridge box, and they were just expected to use them during a battle to try to keep the guns clean and up and running. So that is a fantastic find. That is a 3rd gen Williams cleaner. All right, I got another hole opened up, and this one was a tough one. Look at what we're dealing with out here. The tree roots out here in the woods, cutting through all these tree roots. This tree root right here is about that big. It looks like a coiled up python. And if you look over here at my shovel, I'm using this shovel to bust through all of those tree roots. So I just flicked it out to the edge of the hole. I bet you can see right there. It was a little bit of work. It was worth it. And there is another dropped 3-ring mini ball. Getting a lot of bullets out here today, and we are going to keep on hunting. Got another hole opened up here. You can see my plug. And at the same depth I'm digging these bullets, look at this piece of iron I dug. Look at that. I am not 100% sure of the origin of that, but that is a really neat piece. And being at the same depth as the bullets, I'm gonna guess Civil War era. It's obviously probably had a longer handle or something on there. Don't know if this would have been used as a tool or something on a gun, but that is a very interesting piece of iron, and it rang just like a bullet. So I'm gonna hang on to that and see if I can't find out an origin for this style. Very neat. Okay guys, I got another hole opened up here, and you can see the dirt is a little different than what you've been seeing because we have moved down out of the woods next to the creek. And I got a really good find right here, middle of your screen. Haven't picked it up yet, but what I do know is this is gonna be a fired bullet. And that's what that is. That is a fired bullet. I'm gonna clean this up and see if we can't tell if this is Confederate or if this is gonna be a Union bullet. Okay, look close on the side of the bullet right here, and you can see what's left of the 3 rings. So we have a fired 3-ring mini ball, a Union bullet down here by the creek. And you guys saw earlier what a drop bullet looks like, and you can see how distorted these bullets become once they are fired and impact something. And that is a great find. There we go, a fired 3-ring mini ball. Okay, I'm working the exact same area, same depth, about 6 inches. I just flipped the plug out and you can see it right there in the side. Let's take a look if we got a drop or a fired bullet. And that is a drop 3-ringer, about 6 to 8 feet away from the fired bullet. And look, we'll clean that out later, but look at the color difference in the bullets depending on what kind of soil you get them out of. We're down by the creek. This bullet has probably stayed damp most of its life and still retains its very lead looking color. Another good find. Okay guys, since I got my buddy Lee here, got my pinpointer out, I flipped this plug over and it's gonna be right in here somewhere. So we're gonna push some of this dirt out of the way and find it together. I got my fingers on it. This is it right here. There you go. A fired 3-ring mini ball. And again, I can not only see but feel the distortion in the bullet, and you can still see it has its 3 rings, and you can see it's bent back there in the back, and I can see the marks from where this has traveled down the barrel. Another great find, fired 3-ring mini ball. So we definitely got a running gunfight going on down here by the creek. If you look right there in the middle, we got another fired. And that is a really distorted bullet, really high impact. Look at that. I mean, that thing is almost completely mushroomed. And it is another 3-ringer. So they were really fighting it out down here by the creek. And we're also on the edge of a big hill here too. So that's what was going on in 1864, right here. So Lee just called me over here, and he's got one of the coolest finds that I've ever seen. And if you look right there, you might recognize something we dug earlier, which is a Gen 3 Williams cleaner. Only this one that Lee just dug, as you can see, has been fired. And I have never dug a fired cleaner bullet. In fact, if you look very close between the post bottom and the bullet, you can actually see that brown in there is still some of the material compressed in there that should have cleaned out some of the fouling. But that is a spectacular find. Just never seen one before, and it's just amazing to finally hold one in my hands. A fired Williams cleaner. Excellent. All right, we are back at the Jeep, and we are back at Lee's house, and we are wrapping up for the day. I want to thank our host. Thank you, Lee, very much.
You're welcome, Eric.
Really appreciate it. We had a great day out here on what's left of the Summit Point battlefield. So if you are out there hunting history, keep on hunting, because you can never dig it all.
That's right.
We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. In the video, when I pull these bullets, I often call the three ringers Union three ringers. But the fact is they were used very frequently on both sides. So I will be following this video up soon with a video on how to do Civil War bullet identification.